think about situationships?
Oh, this is going to be good. So many people are struggling with situationships.
Mm,
So, if that is you, we are going to tell you exactly how men think, the masculine, and also how you detach. We have coached so many women that have come to us low key, struggling with situationships, feeling dysregulated, feeling
mm.
brokenhearted, feeling frustrated. And we've had women that have come out of it that are now engaged and married. So if that's you, then you're definitely in the right place.
Yeah, and we're going to really go deep into it and help you ladies out. And I'm going to give you the man's perspective on
Hmm.
exactly how men look at
Hmm.
situationships, not just so you're informed, but so you can start doing things differently and get the tools needed so you don't find yourself in situationships.
Yeah, this is just so common nowadays. And for those of you that are new, what's up? I'm Natasha. I was a former single mama with four little kiddos, went through a whole bunch of trauma and loss, and now I actually specialize in helping women re regulate and heal their feminine energy, their nervous system, and their hormones, specifically in the area of dating and
Mm.
marriage.
And I'm Coach B,
Hmm.
former lifelong bachelor of 30 plus years,
Yes.
30 plus years. So definitely here to help you ladies and just share not only what I know, but just what we've heard from so many men and women
Mhm.
over our coaching time with them.
Yeah, we definitely have the receipts. We've helped over 1,000 women up to date. Every day we keep getting more testimonials. What's up, YouTube? We see Boosted Barbie. Hello, hello. Just recently, actually, somebody had posted that they were, dating a guy. It was their boyfriend.
Yes.
And just so you know, so a situationship is when you're not dating with the purpose of marriage.
Mm.
So the guy's just stringing you
Yes.
along. You guys might love each other, maybe you're sleeping with each other, all that stuff, but there's no purpose to
Mm.
it. So that's a situationship. And anyway, so she just posted and she just told us that she was dealing with some boyfriend who, wanted her to move in with him
Yes.
before marriage,
Yes.
so he could test everything out. And she's like, no, sir, we don't do that over here. And she actually broke up with him, and she just let us know that she is now dating a healthy
Yes.
provider energy man, living her best life, and she is super grateful. So
Yes.
these are the types of stories we hear all
Yes.
the time
Yes.
with our ladies, all ages, all races, all pretty faces.
Yes. Yeah, we hear it so often.
Yep.
We see it, but the good thing about it, we've had ladies that have jumped into the Feminine Energy Academy in
Hmm.
situationships, and 3, 5, 6 months later, they're engaged to
Yeah.
their healthy provider energy man because of
Hmm.
the strategies that we've given them, and first
Hmm.
them really being able to identify it and not just accept what they're hearing, but really dig deep into what they desire and being able to step into that. So
All right.
definitely, we see so many women
Hmm.
with that. So I want to jump into it and just
Yeah.
give them all the three things that men, well, how men look at
Yeah.
situationships. So I'll just get started with
Okay,
that.
let's hear it.
So, how men look at situationships. The first point, men love it.
Of course they love it.
Men love situationships because it allows them to get a lot of benefits
Hmm.
without committing.
Yeah.
So either they can be getting benefits of, sexual benefits. It could be just your companionship. It could be you
Hmm.
cook for them. Whatever the case is, they get it. They have access to you, but you can't say you're together. So they may put a title on it. Okay, you're my girlfriend.
Mm.
Okay, you're my partner. But until you're talking about dating for marriage, getting
Hmm.
engaged, it's a situationship.
Hmm.
If you're not married or engaged, you're potentially in a situationship, and men will love to stay at that place
Yeah.
for the next 5 years. They love to stay in
Hmm.
that space with you for the next 10 years because it's comfortable,
Hmm.
it's no commitment. They can move around and do the things that they want to do. They don't have to be accountable in so many ways to you,
Hmm.
and you can't call them out on anything because guess what? We're not together. We just love being around each other and we're
Yeah.
doing stuff. So unless you're engaged or married, most likely you're in a situationship, and men love to stay in that space.
Exactly. So let's unpack why this happens. And especially, we see this so often. So if you're struggling with this, I promise you, you're not alone. I would say I don't know if it's majority, but there's a large
Yeah.
percentage
Yes.
of women that join our Feminine Energy Academy are
Mm.
low key dealing with a situationship or trying to come out of it, and they're struggling with the detachment.
Yes.
So it's like you have enough awareness that this doesn't feel good as a
Mm.
woman. It doesn't boost your self esteem as a woman. It's frustrating. But I want you to know that it's very dysregulating and
Mm.
traumatizing to the woman's nervous system because she doesn't get to feel safe.
Yes.
And often the reason why this is happening is you guys are both playing in that anxious avoidant attachment patterns where one of you is avoidant, meaning you don't want to get too close.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the guy, you know, doesn't want to get too close. He's good.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
good. He's good just,
yeah.
having access to your feminine
Yeah.
energy and your time and companionship and
Yes.
and all of that, but he doesn't have to get too close to you.
Mm.
And so that really, what we call is a trauma bond.
Mm.
And if you struggle with letting go, it's that anxious attachment pattern where you have this fear of losing somebody.
Mm.
And so you are okay with, even if you're frustrated and mad, abandoning
Yes.
yourself so that he doesn't go away. So
Yes.
that's a pattern that's playing out.
Yes.
You guys get together, you hook up, and then it's like
Yes.
a cat and mouse chasing
Yes.
game. Yeah.
Yes. And he'll tell you anything to get the situationship
Yeah.
started. He'll tell you that he wants to marry you. He'll tell you everything, but he wants
Mhm.
to get that situationship started. And a lot of times we see women that get into these situationships, they're coming out of long-term relationships.
Yep.
They may have come out of a divorce,
Yep.
and you're in that space when you're trying to figure things out, but you're used to companionship. You're used to having someone there with you. So you
Mhm.
end up getting, involved with someone. They're just cool to be around.
Mhm.
Months later, now you're having sexual relations,
Yeah.
and now you're in a situationship because it was never defined.
Yeah.
It was never any boundaries. So
Mhm.
literally, when you're coming out of those long-term relationships and divorces, that's the time to get healing. That's not the
Mhm.
time to look for some type of companionship, because you want to see why you actually got out of that relationship, what caused it, and you don't want to repeat the same things over and over.
Yeah, that's so true. And a lot of times just coaching women, I find it's like they didn't intentionally
Yes.
get into that situationship. You were minding your own business. Let me know if
Mhm.
I'm talking to anybody right now,
Yep.
okay? And this resonates with you. But you were minding your own business, you were probably a single mom, busy with business, work, all
Mhm.
that stuff. Next thing you know, the guy shows up.
Yes.
You guys are friends. One thing leads to another. Now
Yep.
you're really good
Yes.
friends. And now you're hormonally attached to him
Mm.
because you just feel so comfortable around him.
Yes.
And you're realizing, no, he's not for me, but you guys are still playing in
Yes.
that attachment pattern.
And before I
Yes.
get to the second point, what happens is, as well, is he fits a need. He feels a need
So
that's
good.
there, a masculine need. He can help
Yes.
around the house. He can help you with your car.
Mhm.
It'll start off that way, where he's just
Yeah.
helpful. He sees that
Yeah.
you're the one, you're the damsel in distress. So
Yeah.
here he comes out of nowhere helping some woman he doesn't know,
Yeah.
but you become real close with it. And then what happens as well, sometimes women feel like, what can I do to show him I appreciate what he's doing?
Mm.
Not that you even intend to go that way, but you feel like, okay, he's done so much, and okay, let me just show him. First, you may give him some money, or you may tell him, okay, you can stay here, you can eat some food.
Mhm.
You have to be careful around that, because when you open that door,
Mhm.
especially if you're in your feminine,
Mhm.
you want to make sure he feels good, you
Yeah.
around you, things escalate. So
Mhm.
especially ladies that have come out of long-term
Yeah.
relationships and marriages, you really want to be on alert so you don't jump into those situationships.
And one other thing that often gets women into situationships is you've had too much to drink. You
Mm.
are tired. You guys are
Yes.
hanging out. You're comfortable. Had a few glasses of wine,
Yes.
and one thing leads to another. And then once you open that door, it's really hard to
Yes.
close.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll jump to the second point
Okay,
on how
let's do it.
men feel about situationships. The second point is, they usually never look at you as a wife. And what I
Mm.
mean is, you've been in a situationship with them. It could have been with a title, with a boyfriend, girlfriend. You may even live together. You've been together 2, 3, 4 years,
Mhm.
and you're wondering why it hasn't gone to the next level. Usually in those type of situations, it wasn't necessarily a situationship with us. It was more of us talking on the phone. It was more of us,
Yeah.
you and I, when we first
Yeah.
started talking
Yeah.
on the phone. We connected once, And now things would have continued down that road, but before we got together and got married, we had a time where we detached.
Yeah.
Where you detached from me, and
Mhm.
both of us were able to do healing. So unless you're detaching and doing some healing, it probably won't happen. And even
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
detach, it might not be with that person. So you really have to understand that if you've been in a situationship, you can't just say, okay, we're no longer in a situationship. Okay, I don't want to have sex anymore. And he's going to say, okay. And now you're dating for marriage. That rarely ever happens. You want to make sure you detach and get some healing and then
Mhm.
position yourself for your husband, even if it's not him.
That's so good. Yeah. So what he's saying in our situation, we started talking,
Mhm.
and we connected, but before it turned into situationship,
Yeah.
I detached. I was like, you know what, this is not going
Mhm.
anywhere. And I removed my energy. And that's what it's so
Yeah.
important for you ladies to do is remove your feminine
Yes.
energy because otherwise you're going to be fueling that situationship
Yes.
and you might take a break, but then he's going to come back harder. You're going to miss him,
Mhm.
especially if you've done no inner healing,
Yes.
babe. You're going to miss him. You're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel horny. You're going to feel all this stuff. Hormones are all over the place.
Right.
And then next thing you know, he's like, oh, let me just come by and fix this for you,
Yes.
or let me just drop this
Yes.
off for you. And the next thing one thing leads to another, and then you're back in the cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, we'll get to the question shortly, but I want to add a third point to
Okay.
this. The third point, how men think about situationships. The reality is sometimes men can't even put a word definition to it. They don't
Mhm.
even know it's a
Yeah.
situationship. They've been in
Mhm.
relationships for so long where it's been 3, 4 year relationships. They never committed to anyone.
Yeah.
They never been engaged. They've never been married.
Yeah.
So for them, it's a normal relationship. And a lot of times when you approach them and say this
Mhm.
isn't working, they don't understand
Yeah.
why it's not working. You
Yeah.
have everything you need.
Mhm.
You're well taken care of. We spend time together. We don't argue. We don't fight.
Mhm.
What's wrong? We're in a relationship. We're going to get married one day. And this is 3, 4, 5 years after you've met. So a lot of times men just don't even understand that they're in a situationship. They know that they
Yeah.
love you. They know that they want to be with you. And for them, sometimes that's enough for you to commit to them, for you
Yeah.
to stop dating other people, for you to only worry about them. And they just don't understand what it is to be called a situationship.
That's so good. Okay, so I want to talk about why women get themselves into this situation. Okay, so there's a couple patterns that we have noticed coaching over 1,000 women up to this point and helping them with their healing and nervous system re-regulating. Typically, one of the most common characteristics is you've gone through a loss. We just
Mm,
talked about that. You've gone
yeah,
through some sort of loss. Nervous system is
yeah.
dysregulated, traumatized. Masculine energy doesn't necessarily feel safe. But what we've noticed, typically these are nice girls. So
Mm,
if you've heard me on this channel before, I've talked about nice girl energy. So nice girl energy is typically the woman who loves to take care of people. So
mm,
you're really good at abandoning yourself to take care of other people, even if that means breaking
mm,
your boundaries. And because you want to keep people happy, including the guy.
mm,
Right? I mean, you're getting something out of it in the sense that you feel safe in your nervous system when he's happy and good, but you are abandoning yourself by choosing the situationship. And the reason why you should care about this is because it energetically blocks your husband from finding you.
mm,
Your
yeah,
husband cannot find you if you're in a situationship because you're in two different realities.
mm,
There's a reality where there's your husband, your provider energy, man of God, masculine energy husband that just wants to marry you, take care
yeah,
of you, spoil you like my amazing husband. And there's the reality of the situationship where the guy is just wasting your time,
mm,
draining your feminine energy. And it's been 1, 5, 10 years, and you're still in the same situation. Okay. So if that is you, you're that nice girl. She's like, oh, yeah, she's talking to me. I'm the caregiver in my family at my workplace, right? All my nurses and therapists
yeah,
and coaches and business owners, a lot of time it's you single mamas. You're just used to taking care of people. This is how you find yourself in a situationship. And also a lot of times single moms or women with just low self-esteem,
yeah,
you're willing to settle. You're willing to settle because you're like, oh, I'm 55 now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm a single mom, and so you're just like willing to settle for whoever is, giving you some attention and making you feel good, right? So that's another characteristic we see with women that fall into situationships. The other pattern that I've noticed coaching so many women is a lot of times the guy is younger than you.
Mm.
Let us know if we're talking to anybody right now,
Yeah.
okay? And the reason why he is younger than you is you are in your masculine energy.
Mm.
So you're in your chasing,
Yes.
taking care of people energy. And we see this all of the time,
Yes.
especially with our business owners,
Mm.
where you're taking care of the guy. He's young. He makes you feel real good, right?
Yeah.
He makes you feel really good. And, he brings fun into the relationship, the situationship, you have your needs met, but the polarity is off because he's in his receiving mode. He's not providing, protecting you, and marrying you, and you are in your masculine taking care of him mode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the longer you're in these
yeah,
situationships, what happens is, and Dooney said this, so I totally agree with it. What
yeah,
happens is you start saying, okay, well, this is better than nothing.
yep.
At least I have someone that wants to be with me. At
Hmm.
least I'm not by myself. I'm not sleeping alone. At least I
Yeah,
have someone I can call when,
yeah,
I'm bored or when
yes,
I need company or something like that.
yeah,
So that's why it's so important for you to identify it early, because the reality is you may get into a situationship at 28. You look up,
hmm,
you're 35.
hmm,
Now you're still in a situationship and
hmm,
your options have changed.
yep,
The reality is you have different options when you're 28 than when you're 35. And this for men and for women. So now it's like, okay, I'm comfortable.
hmm,
It's too much to introduce a new guy to my kids.
hmm,
I don't want to, have to learn what color he likes or his favorite food.
hmm,
So the easiest thing to do, and ladies, let me know if you've ever thought this. The easiest
hmm,
thing to do is just stick around. This is better
hmm.
than nothing. I'm on his insurance. You know,
His insurance.
you're on his insurance. You have access to all of his finances. It's just like you're married. What's a piece of paper going to do? Let's just go this way, because he's convinced you over time
Hmm.
that it doesn't matter if we get married officially
Yeah,
or if we make this official.
yeah,
We're already together. We know we don't need the
yeah,
government telling us anything. This is better than nothing. And that's why you want to identify it
yeah.
early, just like we help all the ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy with binge watching The Inner Child, the Dating for Marriage,
Mm,
all of these different nervous system audios
yeah.
that's really allowing you to go deep, because it's not something that you can just say, okay, I understand what you're talking about from a head knowledge.
Mhm,
Well, okay, I understand, I'm going to make the change.
mhm.
No, you've got to reprogram your nervous system.
Yeah.
You got to reprogram your subconscious so you don't make the same decisions. And that's how the Feminine Energy Academy helps so many other ladies.
So good. So Dia said, thank you for the gift, by the way. She was in a 5-year situationship that drained her. And she said it just drained me.
Mm,
Slowly getting myself back, healing while raising 2 kids. I feel better each day. Yes, these are the types of stories we hear every single day with our ladies that we help.
yes.
Because, ladies, here's the thing, we're talking about detaching, but you're not going to be able to actually detach from the wrong guy or a situationship unless you heal your nervous system.
Yes.
Because what happens is at a head, it's like a drug addiction, right?
Mm,
So you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to stop smoking, I'm going to stop doing drugs, I'm going to stop drinking, I'm going to stop emotional eating, I'm going to stop smoking.
yes.
You're hormonally and chemically
Yes.
addicted to the
Yes.
dopamine and the highs that you get in that situationship. Like you're actually chemically addicted. That's why it feels so hard.
Mm,
But you can do it. Okay, you can do it. But you need strategy and you
mm,
actually need to heal that nervous system. As you heal your nervous system, this is what I specialize in, helping women heal their nervous system, healing their hormones. You'll naturally be able to detach. You will feel so much better about yourself because
mm,
that masculine man is draining your feminine energy. That is your
mm,
life force as a woman. He is literally dysregulating your hormones, your nervous system, because you don't feel
yeah.
safe in that relationship. You don't feel safe and secure as a woman. So now you are functioning off of the chemicals of survival mode, and that is aging you.
Mm.
This is why, I mean, you look at men that are sleeping with different women, they look fine, they're happy, not really taking care of her. What she looks so
Mm.
drained, right? She looks like life has beat the crap out of her
Mm.
because the masculine has drained her energy.
Mm.
So it's so important for you, my queen. You're seeing this for a reason.
Yes.
I don't care if you're 65, and just, we got women in the
Yes.
60s rotationally dating,
Yep.
okay, in our academy, or if you're in your 20s, 40s, 50s, whatever. It is so important for you to first make that decision that, no, wait a
Mm.
minute. Wait a minute. This is not benefiting me. This is
Yes.
not benefiting my hormones, my energy as a woman. This is making me feel more stressed, more anxious,
Mm.
right, ladies? Spiking your cortisol,
Mm.
giving you like perimenopause issues, right? Aging you prematurely. No. And then plus his energy and all that crap that he's dealing with, he's just dumping
Yes.
inside of you,
Yes.
right? So you need to take your
Literally.
power back, take time to actually heal, and you'll be able to detach from this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a question from Penny, who's in the Feminine Energy
Okay.
Academy. And this question is a little lengthy, so I'm going to try to
Are you
get
able to
through it.
summarize it?
I haven't read it, so I'll try.
Okay.
What if we align and had such a beautiful connection, but he says he can't give all of him because of class/work? Do you detach completely and leave the ball completely in his court? And the main thing I'm wondering is, do men ever come back to the woman they love?
Okay.
Or do they just marry the first girl they see once they're ready to commit? This is such
Well, I guess that's
such
a
a good
question for
question.
you.
Yeah, I'll answer the first part of the
Okay.
question. What if we align and had such a beautiful connection, but he says he can't give all of him because of class
Mm-hmm.
work? Now, one thing I talk about so often on this channel is that when a man's into you, when a man wants to be with you, a man's going to move mountains to be with you. So
Mm-hmm.
class, work, family, whatever is
Mm-hmm.
going on will never deter him from giving himself to you. So if he's saying that, one thing you have to do is believe a man when he tells you. And
Yes.
in this case, he's telling you he doesn't have time. He said he can't give all of him to you.
Yeah.
Forget the because. The
Mm-hmm.
because, anything that's after because doesn't matter. He
Yeah.
already told you that he can't give himself to you, which means he's not willing to give himself
Yeah.
to you. So anything you try to do outside of that, or any type of
Yeah.
excuse you try to give him, I always tell you, ladies, and with most men, don't give these men the benefit of the doubt, because what you're
Yes.
doing right there is like, okay, we align, we
Mm-hmm.
connect so well, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, even though he said he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have time for me. So you have to believe him when he says that. And when you detach, because you have to, and I'll let you go into that
Mm-hmm.
as well. But when you detach, you're not looking for him. You're not
Yeah.
checking on him.
Yeah.
You're not hoping things work out and he gets, his job clears up, or his work
Yeah.
schedule, his classes clear up. What's going to happen is your energy is going to still be coming towards him if you don't attach, and his schedule will never clear up
Yeah.
for you
Yeah.
if he's not willing to do what he needs to do. He'll always have something to do, and as
Mm-hmm.
long as you're there waiting, that's even more reason for him not to commit.
Exactly. So, ladies, this is what you're going to do. Okay. It's okay if, these guys are coming towards you. They want to date you. They want to marry you. You might be in love with each other, but that
Hmm.
doesn't mean he's ready. It doesn't mean he's ready. So you as a woman, you got to look at yourself and be like, no, am I worthy of
Yes.
getting married? Am I ready to get married? You got to be honest with you. Then if the guy is not ready, then you bless him and release
Hmm.
him, babe. Like, it's okay. So the conversation I had with my husband when we were dating was, I FaceTimed him. We were in different countries
Hmm.
and he was not stepping up to the plate. Okay. And I wasn't triggered. I wasn't bothered. I was just like, you know what? I can see you're really busy and you got stuff going on, and I'm just going to move on now, and I wish you the best.
Mm.
And I knew that was like a knife in the heart for him, but I had to do it. It was hard, but he doesn't get access to my
Hmm.
energy, FaceTimes and phone calls
Yep.
every night when he's not doing what he needs to do on his end. So you're not triggered, you're not mad, but you can detach and move on and go no contact. Go, and for a lot of women, you're going to have to go no contact
Yes.
because otherwise it's too emotional for you as a woman.
That is
Yeah.
true. And someone said, keep putting the great wisdom out, guys.
Oh, thank
Keep
you.
going. It's being used. We
Thank
definitely
you.
appreciate it. But to your point, when she had that conversation with me, I knew within myself
Mhm.
that she had thought about it. This wasn't something that was an emotional decision, and she
Yeah.
was serious about it. So,
Mhm.
like you said, it was a knife in the heart in a sense where the last thing you want a woman who you're potentially just talking to,
Yeah.
girlfriend, boyfriend, the last thing you want them to do is talk softly. The last thing you want them to do is to be relaxed. That
Yeah.
relaxed, soft calmness
Yeah.
lets a man know that this is serious.
Yeah.
And we can't go back and forth this. I made up my mind. I'm
Mhm.
letting you know instead of asking you. I'm just informing you, and I knew it. And for
Mhm.
me, it was really a good time for me not to change for her. Because
Yeah.
what you don't want is a guy that, okay, what do you want me to do? Okay,
Yeah.
I have to do this, I'll do that.
Yeah.
No, I'm changing so I can position myself and really figure out, what do I want? Do I want just situationships, or do I want a wife? And because I
Mhm.
wanted a wife, I knew I had to make some changes. I had to get things lined up
Mhm.
within my life. And my desire was to be with her. I didn't know if she was still available.
Mhm.
But when I came back, I came correct. I moved countries and I did what I needed to do. And
Mhm.
thankfully, she wasn't seeing anyone yet, even though
Yeah.
she had planned on starting seeing people right after we initially met,
Yeah.
right after we met up.
Yeah, exactly. That's so good. But ladies, once again, I want to reinforce this. You are going to be struggling with emotionally detaching until you emotionally heal.
Mm,
So if you feel anxious, here's another sign. You feel guilty.
mm,
If you feel guilty, you feel bad, that is a sign you need to heal, because it's almost like you feel like you're abandoning your
mm.
child, right?
Yes.
And that's not a healthy situation at all. He's a grown man, and men need space to fall
Yes.
in love with you. Ladies, let me say that one more time. Men need space to fall in love with you and get clarity and decide if you're their wife or not.
Mm,
And if you're always there, you're always available, you're just a text message
yes.
away, you're just a phone call away, you're just a drink away,
Yep.
money, whatever he needs to do to get back into your energy, he has no reason
No.
to come towards you. Space creates desire, and that's
Mm,
really, really important in the dating phase. Yeah.
yes. One of the ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy, her question is, what about if a guy, and this is one of our new ladies,
Yeah.
if a guy pulls back after 2 years? So,
Okay.
first, like I always say, and I'll respond
Yeah.
first. Most men, most
Yeah.
healthy provider energy men, after 3 to 6 months, they're going to be asking you to marry them. They know if they want to be with you
Yeah.
after a couple of dates. So if things have gone on for 2 years, then it's really just a situationship. So
Mhm.
it's not the fact that he's pulling back from a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
It's just he's going through what most men do. It's kind of like, okay, he may be seeing another woman. His time is getting taken up in other places. He'll be back for you, but he won't be back in a healthy way. He'll be
Yeah.
back when he needs something, when it could, like I said, it can be anything that that kind of draws you to him, but he's just taking a break from the situationship because something else is taking his time, or he's moved on from this. He's gotten everything that he needs. Now he may have found him someone who can potentially be a wife, someone who potentially has boundaries in place, and he doesn't want to spend time there. But you're not going to find many men that are in 2 year relationships, healthy relationships, that just pull back out of nowhere. No, it's a
Mhm.
situationship, and you're not official, you're not
Mhm.
engaged. So he's
Mhm.
done you a favor, because it's a waste of time to be with someone
Yeah.
that long without having a date to get married.
And the thing is, ladies, a lot of times, because we've talked to so many women that say this, they're like, if I wouldn't have broken this off, he would have kept going. He would have dragged it out. Men do that. I don't know
Yes.
why you guys do that. Not you, honey. Of
Yes.
course, not you. But men will drag things out, even, and I'm not encouraging divorce at all, but even typically it's women that will eventually file for divorce.
Hmm.
But it's also women that will eventually break up the situationship or the relationship. And it's almost just like men are okay with just kind of dragging
Yeah.
things along. But what I wanted to mention is DS said the guilt kept her in that 2 year situationship
Mm.
for 2 years longer. Right. And she said it aged her 10
Wow.
years. And that's what it does as a woman. It ages you, it ages your nervous system, it ages your hormones, it ages because you're stressed. You're stressed, right? But you're attached to this guy. So if you want to break out of that and you want to clear space for your husband to find you, first of all, you got to decide you're worthy for that. You cannot wait on the guy.
Yes.
He will drag it out.
Yes.
And where do you want to be in a year from now? Where do you want to be in 5 years from now? Like, just think about your age, where you're going to be in 5 years from now. We've seen women in 10-year situationships, right? So you want to break that off right away and then get your healing. You need to heal the nice girl energy, which is that anxious attachment style. Okay. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I actually have a free quiz in the Feminine Energy Academy where you can identify your attachment style and, are you avoidant? Are you anxious? Are you both? And also, I give you a plan of action of how to heal it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to have strategy when it comes to dating. So you're not dating a guy for 2 years and then he's starting to pull back. No, we're not wasting our time, ladies. You're going to rotationally date until the right guy, you're not sleeping with these guys until the right guy steps up for the purpose of marriage so you don't waste your time and energy anymore.
Yes. And the thing is, you talk about it all the time. When men are dragging things out, what men are doing is mirroring your energy. So if this is something that you find yourself continuously, you've been in 4 3-year relationships without marriage. Whenever you have boundaries in place, your love list, you've done the inner work, men sense it, men feel it, and men know they can't. If and in our situation as well, because you had your boundaries in place, I saw this and then I had to make an adjustment. So they're either going to draw closer to you or they're going to pull away from you. But it won't be something that you're giving him access to just drag it out, because now you're bitter. Now you're upset. Now you feel like you've been used up and he leaves. You've started a family with him. Everyone in his family. He knows everyone in your family. And now he pulls away out of nowhere, it feels like. But you have to understand, the men, they're just mirroring your energy in those situations. So our next question we had from a lady in the Feminine Energy Academy said, so if you haven't heard from him in over a week, after he promised he will do better, should I just delete his number? Well,
what do you think, babe?
well, what I would
What do you guys think in the
yeah,
comments?
what do you think about that? If they haven't you haven't heard from them in over a week after they promise they'll do better, should she delete his number? And my response is, you never listen to what a man says, and now you're just all in on it. I don't know the situation that happened that led up to that, but it sounds like you're not officially in a relationship and something happened. And again, we always tell you, either pull back, detach, and get healing, because when you don't, you're just going to believe what they say. You're just going to give them another chance, the benefit of the doubt. But you have to always watch what men do, not just what they say, because men know what to say to women that they've been with. They may have had a situationship with you for a couple years. They know it because it's been a cycle of them maybe doing something you didn't like and you not wanting to talk to them. Then they bring you flowers. Then they send you a cash app, couple $100. Now you're feeling good. And they'll tell you, like, I'm going to do better. Trust me. And in their heart, they may want to do better. But without getting the healing, they're going to do what they know to do, because you can't just move by willpower. Okay, because saying he's going to do better is him just hoping his willpower will allow him to make better decisions. But don't listen to what he says. If you've gone through something like that, make sure you give him space. You get space. And if he comes back after healing, then allow him, potentially, if you want, allow him to show you, but never just give him the benefit of the doubt and welcome him back with open arms without him showing you that he's different than before.
Ladies, you train men with your energy. We train men with our energy. So if you're giving him 5, 6, 7, 8 chances where he's going away, he's not calling you, he's not being consistent, he's not following through on what he said he was going to do, and then he comes back and he has a long story, and then he does some stuff for you, and then you get back together because you love him and you miss him, right? And there's so many good things about him, but he just has the stuff that he's dealing with, and then he goes away, and then he comes back, every time you allow him back in, you are training him that it's okay, that he can just say whatever he needs to say and he gets access to you again. So that if that is you, I encourage you to get healing, babe. I just added to the FEA, to the Feminine Energy Academy, a training where I teach you ladies the do's and don'ts of communication with men in the dating app phase, in the dating phase, and in the marriage phase. So if they're doing stuff like this, like how my husband did, even to me, how you respond as a woman, but in your calm, juicy, magnetic, high value, feminine energy, so that you can break those cycles and men treat you differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the questions that we've been getting a lot within the Feminine Energy Academy, and just with the women that respond,
Yeah.
is what about if I've already crossed the line and had
Oh,
sex with
yes.
them?
Yes.
Do I still have a chance with him? Or can you kind of explain, once that line has been crossed with him, how the man usually responds,
Hmm.
from the ladies that we've talked to?
Yeah.
Can you help the
Oh,
ladies
yeah,
out with that?
you want me to do
Yes.
it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, ladies, if you have cross line, because you just are meeting us now, and you're like, oh snap, I crossed that line. What you got to do, no matter what, at any point, you can always decide to change, right? You can always. There's God's grace to help you in this situation, but you have to detach. You have to. I mean, if you guys are seriously dating, you could be like, you know what, this is really important to me. I want to save myself for my husband. And then he's going to look at you and he's going to give you the side eye and probably be triggered, like, what are you talking
Right.
about? And that's okay. You're going to have to be okay with that,
Yeah.
right? But you have to stick to your boundary. You can't tell a man, oh, I want to wait till, I'm married, and then you go and sleep with him.
Yeah.
And then 2 seconds later, you're telling him, oh, no, I want to wait.
Right.
And then you're holding out, and then, he's not going to take you seriously because you're not following through on your words. You have to follow through on your promises to yourself. So a lot of times women have to detach completely and heal so that you know how to follow through on promises to yourself. Ladies, here's another thing. If you keep attracting men that don't follow through on what they promise you, it's because you as a woman are not following through on the promises to yourself. Okay. So they're mirroring your energy. So another thing we do in the FEA is we practice following through on promises to ourselves. So you're in the energy, you're in the frequency, the reality that people follow through on promises to you because you're
Yes.
so worthy and valuable. And when you do that, people will start to mirror that back to you in your 3D reality.
That's so
Yeah.
true. And one thing, once that line is crossed with men, is
Yeah.
something that happens within a man where where he feels like the chase is over,
Yeah.
where he doesn't necessarily have to give that same energy,
Yeah.
because he may have given a lot of energy, taking you on a lot of dates, had a
Mhm.
lot of late night calls with you,
Yeah.
maybe trying to convince you or let you see that he's here to provide for
Mhm.
you. You had all of his attention. And then once that line was crossed, it's like, what happened?
Mhm.
He just, out of nowhere, he just ghosted you,
Yeah.
or he just disappeared. So that's why it's so important to detach, because
Mhm.
it's something that goes on in the man that I can't explain,
Yeah.
but that we see so often, where they lose the same interest, even though they'll still call you or still, say like, okay, I want to see you. It's not the follow through after that line is crossed. So I don't want you to focus on what do you do to get him back. But what you have to focus on is, what do you need to do so you're not allowing the
Mhm.
next person
Yeah.
potentially to cross that line, because you don't want to play in the, what can possibly happen. But probably what's going to happen, the probability of what's going to happen is he's going to detach himself. He's going to get space. He's not going to reach out to you as much. And you need to make sure you get the healing you have so you don't repeat this yourself.
So hormonally, what happens to men when you guys sleep together before marriage is, when he's dating you and he's pursuing you and he's chasing you and he's romancing
Yes.
you and all that, when they're like on their best behavior, texting
Yes.
you, calling you every day,
Yes.
his testosterone is really high, right? He's in his hunting, chasing mode.
Yeah.
And if you guys hook up too soon before he has a chance to actually bond with you and is actually looking at you as a wife, like you guys are married, the man's brain changes when you guys get married, actually. Anyway, his testosterone is high, and then once you guys sleep together, his testosterone drops and his dopamine drops. He gets a
Yes.
huge hit of dopamine, during that sexual experience, and then his dopamine drops. Also, you have a boost of oxytocin, and that's the love hormone that makes you super bonded to him.
Mm.
So now your brain chemistry has changed as a woman. You're not seeing any red flags anymore. You're just in love with him, or you feel attached and you don't know why.
Yes.
You're all of a sudden you can't stop thinking about him, and you're like, why am I like this
Yes.
as a woman? Your brain chemistry has changed. His brain chemistry has changed. And so now, after you guys hook up, his testosterone has dropped, his dopamine levels have dropped. So now he's focused on other things that
Yes.
he's chasing. So that could be his work, it could be business, it could be other things he has going on, it could be
Mm.
other women, it could be just other
Yes.
things that he wants, because he's now looking for other things to chase and to hunt. That's why for you as a woman, no matter what, don't hook up with the guys,
Yeah.
because it's not going to benefit you at
And
all.
that's why we talk so much in the Feminine
Yes.
Energy Academy about rotationally dating,
Yes.
because you're not focused on him. He doesn't
Mhm.
get all of your energy. So when something happens, he may not call, he may not follow
Mhm.
through like he said he was going to follow through. You're not sitting around waiting
Mhm.
for him. You're not, your night isn't ruined because he didn't call you. But when you're giving him
Yes.
all your energy, when he hasn't committed to you,
Yes.
he hasn't asked you to go exclusive in the purpose of dating for marriage.
With the timeline.
Yes, with the timeline. He
Mhm.
hasn't done any of that. He's just told you you look beautiful. I want to spend time with you. And
Mhm.
you shut down the world. The world has been shut down. Anybody who looks at you, you're thinking to yourself, I'm taken, so I'm not going to even give them the time. Now, and to
Mhm.
add to that, when we say rotationally date, we're
Mhm.
not saying going sleeping around with these different guys. What
Mhm.
we're saying is you're dating different guys, you're getting to know them, you're getting to know yourself and how you respond during dating, what you
Yeah.
like, what you don't like, and you're not dating the same type of guys that it didn't work with
Mhm.
previously. That's why it's so important. We
Yes.
go over this in the Feminine Energy Academy. We walk you through exactly how to position yourself. We look at your dating profiles. We
Mhm.
walk you through the process so we can give you the best chance to
Yep.
succeed in it. And trust me, our ladies that have rotationally date in the Feminine Energy
Yeah.
Academy, they see such good results because
Mhm.
what it does, it lets the man know that you're not sitting around waiting on them.
Yep.
You're not sitting around saying, okay, it's you or nothing. So rotationally dating is so key. And to that, and I'll let you speak shortly.
Mhm.
Someone was asking, how do you tell them you're rotationally dating? You don't have to tell them. You don't have to make an announcement. You don't have to sit them down. Because if you're rotationally dating, you're not even seriously dating the person. You're getting to know them. This may be first, second date, where you're just getting to know them. If they're asking you anything about, if you're seeing anyone, you can
Mhm.
just let them know you're dating for marriage. You're
Yeah.
enjoying getting to know them. But you
Yeah.
don't have to make an announcement because men don't make announcements when they have rosters.
Yeah. You can also say, especially this, it's best to do this at the beginning, by the way. You
Yes.
guys are having a great conversation. And he's like,
Mm.
okay, what are you doing later? You can be like, I have a date. And that's what I said to my husband when we were dating.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have a date. I got to go. And we had just started talking. And
Mm.
you could tell he was so
Date. Wait a minute.
shocked.
Wait a minute.
You got a date. But you could also tell he was like, I can't get mad at her. We just
Yeah.
started talking.
Yeah.
And so that's a kind of a fun way to show the guy that, like, I'm dating for marriage, and they
Yeah.
can't get mad at you because you guys just met,
Yes.
right? But they will take you a lot more seriously
Yeah.
when you're
And
doing that.
and it tells you so much about the
Yep.
type of guy that you're talking to
Yep.
just by their response. If you tell them, you have a date
Yeah.
or you have something going on, and you
Mhm.
can have a date with your daughter, you can
Yeah.
have a date with
Yeah.
yourself. You don't have to go into detail, give them
Yeah. You
SSA.
might have a gym date.
Exactly. You don't have to give social security numbers and addresses, telling them who you're dating, how they
Yeah.
look. No, I'm busy. I have a date. I have stuff going on. But if you want to do something, I'm available this time.
Mhm.
So make sure you're not just opening up, everything and allowing them to get total access to you without committing.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yes. We have so many questions in here as well. Can you talk a little bit about this Saturday's masterclass we have
Yes.
upcoming?
Okay, so every Saturday we have a live coaching masterclass exclusively for the ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy. In this whole month, I'm teaching you ladies how to be in your soft feminine energy that men go crazy for. They're
Mm,
completely obsessed with. And this is a skill that you want to have in dating and in marriage. But most importantly, ladies, we're going to be talking about your hormones,
yes.
okay, and your nervous system. You cannot, by definition, you cannot be in your soft girl energy if your hormones and your nervous system are all over the place. You're going to be stressed, you're going to be anxious, you're going to be triggered,
Yes.
you're going to be obsessing about him texting,
Yep.
not texting, calling you, not calling you. You're not going to feel cute. You're not going to even have the
Mm,
energy to go out and date and have energy for your husband if your hormones are all over the place. Okay. So if you got PCOS, you got adrenal fatigue, you're perimenopause, you have PMS, you just got that stubborn hormone
yeah.
belly, your nervous system is fried from the trauma that you have been through from past relationships and situationships, and you're ready to have your glow up, you're ready to lose that hormone belly fat, you're ready to open up your options in dating, you're,
Mm,
back on the dating scene, then you definitely want to be in this masterclass. And it's free right now when you sign up. It's free. Okay. So, yeah, that's what we have going on this weekend.
yeah. And even to the point Joey said, dang, she's creating high quality women. And even so
Yes.
many women that are in the Feminine Energy
Yeah.
Academy. We had an event this past weekend
Yeah.
where we had over 40 women
Yeah.
attend and
Hot
all,
women.
yeah. And you
Let
can
me
go
just
ahead and go
say.
into that, babe. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just say, you just go to the community tab and go look at that recent post.
Yeah.
We have some posts of the women in our community and they are fire, okay? Women of all ages, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. They're all rotationally dating right now. Some of them are just on a healing journey, but we have the most amazing group of women and
Yes.
we are teaching these women how to be wives. We are teaching these women how to be in their soft feminine energy, how to look good,
Hmm.
how to feel good, how to talk to their
Yes.
man, how to make their men obsessed with them,
Yes.
how to stay detached and calm in their energy while they're dating so they don't get obsessed and anxious
Yes.
and attached to the wrong guy and stuck in a situationship. A lot of these are single moms, some
Yes.
of them are not. Some have been divorced. A lot of
Mm,
them are boss babes. So they're just learning how to go from being that boss babe and being that boss babe energy or that single mom energy to being in their potent magnetic feminine energy that ages you in reverse. First of all, you look good, you feel good for your age, and the men are attracted.
yes.
High quality men, provider men. That's what they want. They want a woman in her feminine.
Yes, and we
Yeah.
get ladies. We had ladies there from all over, from Hawaii,
Yeah.
from New York, just from
Yeah.
everywhere. And one thing that I love about the ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy is
Mhm.
they're open. They're open to receive not
Yes.
only from a man, but open to receive from you, from me, in a sense of,
They're
okay,
coachable.
yeah, they're coachable. They're open to receive
Yeah.
instruction, correction, and they're doing it with a smile. And one thing we
Yeah.
understand as well, no matter where you're from, we understand different cultures, people do things differently, but one thing that remains the same. If you're in your feminine, that looks one way.
Yeah.
Feminine doesn't look five different ways, seven
Yeah.
different ways. Feminine looks like receiving, looks like they're in their soft energy. And we've
Mhm.
seen so many transform just within a few short months in the Feminine Energy Academy.
Well, one thing that we did that was so helpful for the ladies recently is we did energy readings of
Mm,
them. So we watched how they talked and walked. And that's your subconscious mind. So we were able to tell the ladies, even if they at a head knowledge knew what they
yes.
wanted, they thought, okay, yeah, I got this. As soon as we saw them walking around and talking,
Yes.
we were able to tell so much about them.
Mm,
And that's for you too. These are the things that you want to learn so you can be more in your
yes.
feminine and so the men are just drawn to you because men need that polarity. And we're
Mm,
talking provider, masculine energy men. We're not talking about men that are in their feminine, just want to be
right.
taken care of. We're talking about men that want to provide for you and, just take care of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so important too, if you've gone through any of that, that you don't try to heal in the same place where you got
Yes.
sick. So it's
Yes.
really getting that outside eye, that outside thought and opinion. And this isn't just opinion, this is research. This is thousands of women that we've talked to, but getting that
Yes.
perspective
Yeah.
and understanding that as much, because what happens is we'll get ladies who may be in our comments who,
Yeah.
PhD smart ladies
Yeah.
who I just want you to tell me what to do. Just
Yeah.
tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll become what I need to become because they've seen success. They're business owners.
Yeah.
They run teams. They do all of this. They've seen people and businesses grow. But the difference is the embodiment and is what we give you in the
Yes.
Feminine Energy Academy. So it's not like, okay, take down these notes and then let me know when you do them. No, this is something that each and every day you're reprogramming yourself, you're binge
Yes.
watching, you're binge listening to, and you're seeing the
Yeah.
results. And people point it out before you point it out. It's like when you lose weight, you haven't seen someone in a
Yeah.
while. They say, it looks like you've lost weight. It's because you've changed and you've been so focused on working out, taking care of your body, eating right, that you don't even notice it, but others do. And that's what happens in the Feminine Energy Academy.
Mm-hmm. So just ask yourself, the type of man that you want to be with, provider energy, high value, good quality man. What type of woman do you think he wants
Yes.
to be with? Right? Because you are going to date, you're going to attract your energetic match. So if you are attracting guys that just breadcrumb you, that are inconsistent,
Mm,
that maybe, give you attention, but
yes.
don't show up fully for you consistently, instead of getting mad at the guys, I want you to stop for a second. Don't judge yourself,
Yes.
but really lovingly just ask yourself, okay, am I the common denominator? Because you are, right? And if you are, get that healing, because otherwise you're just going to keep going on the same
Yes.
mountain over and over and over again. And these are the women that are like, dating is exhausting. I give up.
Mm,
Dating doesn't have to be exhausting, girl. Dating can be fun. Even if you're in your 60s. Once again, just this weekend, we had a live retreat. We had some women in their 50s and 60s rotationally dating.
yes.
Okay. They had one of our girls had to leave early because one of
Yes.
the guys was taking her to the Chris Brown concert. She
That's
had to
right.
leave,
That was
right?
a lady in the 60s, in her
Yeah, in her
60s.
60s. Okay. So these women are living their best life. Your sister was at our retreat
Yes.
recently. She's in her 50s.
Yes.
She just got married just 2 years ago. Another lady in our Feminine Energy Academy, her
Mm,
mom just got
yes.
married at 62 years old. And she did everything that we teach.
Yes.
She's got, she looks good for her age. She's got the flowy hair going.
Mm,
She's in shape for her age, and her energy is soft and warm. She has like the most beautiful smile,
mm,
and her now husband, just moved
yes.
her. And this is another example of women that we just see all the
Yes.
time, 50s, 60s year old, and they're getting married.
Yes.
Yeah, and
And it's
having fun dating.
and that's why it's so important to do the inner work, the inner
Yeah.
healing. We had a question where the lady said being consistent isn't enough, but this is a good trait. I met a guy that was 100% consistent, no games in that way, but he was also toxic in a lot of ways. So frustrating.
Yeah.
And I want to speak to that because a lot of times it's because we haven't done the inner work. We're the common denominator, like you said. It's so easy to say, okay, he's narcissistic, he's toxic. And the thing is, what does that mean? What are the arms and legs around that? Or do you
Mhm.
find yourself continuing to attract toxic, narcissistic men who show up, who do everything, and then it's always something that happens, something that you don't feel good. And we even learned, even over the weekend and just with the ladies that we have, a lot of times it's the inner work. It's you deciding, do you want a relationship, and then doing what you need to do, because a lot of self-sabotage happens as relationships move forward. And a lot of times we see it in men, but we want our ladies as well to notice it within yourself, because most of the time it's not because you're not don't look good, you don't have a lot going for yourself. A lot of times it's just small things that you need to adjust
Yeah.
mentally and within yourself. And if you find yourself having consistently having relationships that end toxic,
Yeah.
you're the common denominator. And we don't want you to judge yourself. It's
Yeah.
just being aware of it so you don't repeat these trends.
So good. And I think it was Nelson asked, are masculine energy men accepting of rotational dating? And the answer is no. No masculine energy man is
Hmm.
going to be okay
Right.
with a woman that he's actually serious
Yes.
about. rotationally
Yes.
dating. That's the whole point of it,
Yeah.
right? It's the filtering system for women. And so this is not just us, by the way. This is, if you looked at different cultures, this is why a lot of people will hire
Yeah.
matchmakers. What are matchmakers doing? You can go watch it on Netflix. There's like the Jewish matchmaker, the Indian matchmaker.
Yes.
We were just watching a Korean dating show, and they're all basically rotationally
Mhm.
dating, where the woman is looking, or the guy is looking for their match, right?
Mhm.
So they're obviously going to go on coffee dates or lunch dates, dinner dates
Mhm.
with different people until they find the right match.
Yes.
How we teach it, you're not sleeping with anyone, right?
Mhm.
You're being conservative with it, but you're getting a chance to know the person and see if they're a good match for you. Now, a healthy man, and maybe you can
Yeah.
talk a little bit
Yeah.
more about this, but a healthy man is not going to be okay with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a healthy man, of course, is not okay
Yeah.
with his lady or someone he's dating for
Yeah.
marriage, rotationally dating. But one thing you have to understand, two things I'll say. The first thing is a healthy masculine energy man is not going to drag things out with
That's it.
someone that he wants to be with. He's going to make quicker decisions
Yeah.
because he doesn't have time to just have situationships and be dating everyone. He has too much going on. He's running businesses, he's working hard. He's looking
Yeah.
to establish himself in different areas. So he's not just out here messing
Yeah.
around. A healthy
Yeah.
masculine energy man isn't doing that. But also, if he's dating her and she's rotationally dating, he hasn't asked her to commit to him. That's so he understands that she's not his. He has no control or no say so. She doesn't have to be accountable for him. So it's nothing lost in that sense because they're not a couple, because
Mhm.
you're not official. So healthy masculine energy man, even with us, before when we started dating for marriage, then everything was just her and I. We were
Yeah.
dating for marriage. It wasn't anything where she was rotationally dating. Even when before we got into a serious relationship for marriage, when she was rotationally dating, it wasn't, I mean, she was rotationally dating her kids and,
Mhm.
whoever else she was dating, it wasn't a conversation I ever brought up.
Mhm.
So you won't bring it up as a healthy man if you're not with that person. And before you move to the next level, you're going to make sure that boundaries are in place, that you're on the same page before you move forward, because that's non-negotiable for a healthy masculine energy man.
Yeah, exactly. Just think, ladies, it comes to how men have actually evolved, right? There's
Mhm.
sperm. There's not just one sperm chasing the egg. There's millions of sperm chasing the egg. Men feel better when they're competing for you. They're releasing the
Mhm.
vasopressin and all the hormones that they need to chase after you, to value you. They need to feel like they've earned you.
Yes.
And Coach B talks about this all the time. Men don't want to be with a woman that
Yes.
no other man
Yes.
wants. If no other men are coming for you, babe, then he's feeling like, what's the rush?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
There's no sense
healthy.
of it, no sense of urgency.
When we know that you're nice looking, that other
Yeah.
men want you, that draws us to you
Yeah.
because we're competing. We're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get her. Everybody wants her. I'm
Mhm.
gonna get her. Not only are you in love with her, you like her, you want to be with her, but that's that extra kick that's saying, okay, let me step it up because these guys are trying as well,
Yep.
but I'm gonna come out on top. If
Yep.
that's not there, and you're always available. Every time I drive down the street and I see you in the same spot, then I know no one's looking for you. I know
Mhm.
you're going to be there. I'm going to go do everything else as a man.
Yep.
I'll come back to you at the end of the day
Yeah.
once the other stuff is over with, once I'm done having fun, whatever the case
Yeah.
is, coming back to you last because nobody's going to take you anywhere. Nobody's going to take you
Yep.
off the market.
Yep.
Most men don't care if, okay, you're just dating guys here and there. But if you have a history of never committing, never being in a serious relationship, that guy's not concerned about if you're going somewhere. So
Mhm.
they'll do any and everything, and they'll be open about it too. Okay, yeah, they've been on a date with this woman. No, they had this woman over. They're talking to you like that because they know you're not going anywhere.
Mm.
That's when you really have to take a step back and say, what do I need to do that he feels this comfortable?
Yep.
That he feels comfortable talking to me like this, telling me everything. A man will never want to wife a woman that he's talking to like that and really
Mhm.
provide and commit to her.
Yeah.
He may sign the papers, but is he really committing to you? Is he really just putting you on a pedestal? Is he looking
Yeah.
at you as his wife, or is he signing that paperwork because it's beneficial for him?
Yeah.
So trust me, a man won't, if he's talking to you like he's talking to the guys and he's just telling you everything, not concerned about your response, that's not the man you want to be with.
That is so good. So, ladies, if you are struggling in any of the areas we just talked about, you want to heal from the situationships, you're ready to detach, you're struggling with detaching, you want to know your attachment style, you want to heal your attachment style, you want to learn how to date the right way so you can attract your husband. We've had engagements and marriages every single month this year
Yes.
because of the ladies that we have coached. They have come to us. We've had women that have come to us that were in situationships and they detached, they healed, and then they were able to attract their amazing husband online. Lots of international dating relationships that have turned into marriage, a lot of them actually. So in all different ages and single moms included.
Yes.
Okay. And plus we just teach you how to date so it's fun. So you have options. So you're calm and you're regulated and you feel confident and you know how to talk to the masculine. We also help you with your dating profile. So if you want help with your dating profile, you get both of us our feedback. Okay. I have master classes so I can teach you because nobody wants to be on a dating app, right? Like I didn't, but I met my husband
Yes.
on a dating app. And so many women I know right now that are now married, engaged and married, met their husbands online. Okay. You have access to everyone online right now, but you need to have strategy and you need to have a healed nervous system. And then once again, also this weekend, we are doing a masterclass, private masterclass for our ladies to help you be in that soft magnetic energy, starting with your hormones and your nervous system. Okay. So you get all of that in the Feminine Energy Academy. It's free. You can try it out for free. That's how confident we are that it's going to shift your reality. And you have us in there to help you. So you can message us. You can message us your situation and we can help you in there. Okay.
So we will see you ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy. Again, remember, it's a free 7-day trial. So jump in, try it out, get all the information you need, and trust me, it'll help you in your journey.
Okay. Love you, ladies.